AR and VR have delivered on the promise to supercharge the enterprise's education and training industry. From workflow support for sectors like manufacturing where factory floors are made consistently more safe and productive, to teaching employees soft skills that allow them to better adapt to the ever more nuanced demands of the modern workplace, these embodied digital formats inherently drive positive results because both our cognition and bodies believe the experience to be real. Starting in 2016, I began to cover the education niche of VR and primarily through the lens of the remarkable journey traveled by UK-based Virtual Speech, a startup that has never raised a single drop of venture funding and yet, or despite of, has found a viable product-market fit that the team reached through a process of trial and error that has, since last year, positioned them in revenue-positive territory. Virtual Speech is based on a hybrid model that pairs VR with traditional course programs like e-learning and in-person training, affording users a chance to practice what they have learned in realistic environments in order to really absorb and integrate essential soft skills much more effectively. User engagement for our courses has also been very encouraging, particularly for the VR part of the courses, where the majority of users complete all their course scenarios. We've read about how engagement for online courses is typically low, so we are pleasantly surprised by our engagement levels, says Dominic Barnard, a co-founder at Virtual Speech. As we progress forward, I see the B2B route for us becoming a key avenue for growth, as companies begin to shift budget away from expensive in-person training and into VR training, where users' performance can be monitored and ROI accurately measured. Above, practice for your radio interview with a live trainer with Virtual Speech. That most of the success cases in the news about VR and our education have been fairly isolated to the needs of the enterprise isn't surprising, thanks to the simple fact that the public education sector is by comparison a bureaucratic jungle of red tape that makes it that much more difficult to penetrate for spatial computing startups that have limited resources and runway. There is, however, the prospect of reshaping, rejuvenating, and revolutionizing the educational landscape for the next generation of youth. After all, spatial computing triggers our physicality and appeals to our imagination, a unique combination that allows this interactive digital format to help us store learning in an emotional and instinctively charged way that has never been possible before.